Your nearness is a need I have. I'll never let it go. Vicinity from you I drive that makes me live and grow. Invisible is gravity that drags me to your side. Unsighted is the force that's holding all my feelings back. I want to touch the sky and I feel it, never leave it. You're the one, we belong, perfect misfit. My emotions never lie. An obsession, a profession, a wonderful, ruthless impression. You're more than hell and heaven, and everything between. A strong, addictive poison. Pleasing, strong.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Colorado CannaTopia.
Doing it good on tonight's Tuesday. Yeah. Tonight we're discussing anything really with like a specific topic, but definitely be chatting about rolling
On the black strap that I got going on. Yeah, I'll probably give you a little update on different things that I got going on as well around the garden and outside of the garden. Spring's coming along. I mean, it snowed literally the other day, but besides that, stuff is still growing. I still got little sprouts coming up from the bulbs and stuff like that. And so when I see that, these are some of the
How's that?
You guys hear us better now? Appreciate that, Dane. Our tech guy is not here right now. He's getting some more resources for the studio so we can fend off the dinosaurs trying to eat our equipment.
He's delivering old mattresses or mattresses to old ladies in Aspen.
I was trying to make it exciting.
I know. I said I was blunt at the beginning of the show. Touche. Just to kind of recap, we're talking just gross stuff tonight, having a good time, smoking some herb. Nothing in particular. So if you guys got a grow going on and you got some questions, it's up for sure.
Any questions at all? Definitely shoot them down.
Yeah. We're actually streaming. It's really odd. We only have one viewer.
I know.
I'm kind of tripping out. I'm like, what's wrong?
Yeah, we try to check connectivity. Maybe check.
Give us a share and some tags if you're in here.
Check connectivity and stuff.
Let some homies know that we're up in the show. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. I mean, we got a couple of viewers popping. It's just Dane and JC right now, but yeah, tag some people for us. Let's get this party started. And let me know what you're smoking on.
Yeah, what do you? I was just about to ask him that, bro. Like, just about to ask him.
What up, Michael? How's it going, man? Thanks for popping in and checking it out. Tell Logan to hurry his ass up. We're waiting on him. And yeah. How you doing tonight, man? I hope you're home smoking on something. If not, you're in a truck. And you still might be smoking on something. I don't know. So, yeah, we're just kicking it. Like I said, we're talking gardening. Spring is coming up soon, so if you're getting your gardens ready for spring, I know we just, like James was saying, we just got some snow, but it's about that time. I know there was like a weird polar shift or some shit that happened, and you could see Aurora Borealis all the way down to like fucking Texas or something. Like, our temperatures this time of year where we're at, average is 60 degrees, and we're still chilling in the 49, 50 degree range. So it's really odd where we're at temp wise. I'm to a point where I'm like, dude, I could do another hash run. It's still cold enough, and we're in March.
It is pretty cold.
So that's super odd for us. Usually, like, we're in the high upper 50s, lower 60 range. So it's kind of a trip. So who knows what this year is going to bring. But it is about a good time to start getting your gardens going, or at least planning it. I need to start getting my greenhouse kind of working, but I've been so behind on other projects and stuff that I haven't had a chance to. So, if you guys have any questions, again, anything in your grow that you want to chat about, we can pop on. Oh, Dane, what's good to ensure some kind of pest and animal control outdoors? My biggest thing, like, for pest and animal control is really companion planting and...
Do you have a specific one, though? Because if you have a specific one, we can narrow down some more specific stuff for you.
This gets stabs. I don't know when he's going to be off. So... good to ensure, like, just in general, pest control and animal control for outdoors. Things like fences help a lot. If you've got animals that burrow and bury, maybe bury the bottom part of your fence.
Chicken wire.
A good caterpillar prevention outdoors is you can get bug netting.
Oh, yeah.
And the trick to that is when your plants, because it's not going to shade your plants at all, is what's going to happen is when your plants start going into flower and it's that caterpillar time, you're going to basically just kind of wrap your plants in that. You don't want it constricting, obviously, because they can't breathe, but you do just want it like around, almost like you would do like a mini greenhouse. And those are going to keep the moths from laying their eggs inside those buds, and you're not going to have that caterpillar issue. For deer, really your best bet is a fence. There are these... God, my wife's grandpa got them when he was in Oklahoma. He took these motion-activated sprinklers, and he put those in his yard around his gardens, and when deer came up, the sprinkler would kick on and scare the deer away. So that's one option. Another option would be hunt. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, man.
No, another option would be to put some kind of deterrent crop, something that they prefer more than your cannabis, at the other end of your field, and try and get them to feed on that instead of your cannabis. That, as far as large animal like deer that can clear like an 8-foot fence if they wanted to, like, those are really your best options. If you've got your outdoor grow and it's in a sealed enclosure, then that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
If you've got your plants and they're in a cage, deer aren't going to get it. You're going to worry more about like moles and things that burrow into the ground and start smashing your roots. Like, those are going to be more of like, fuck your fence, we're still getting your plants. But even then, it's just a matter of digging down a certain depth.
Yep.
And blocking them off that way.
And Michael has a very good point. He says grandparents claim bear piss helps keep deer away. There are a lot of types of different pheromone scents and things that can keep deer away. Although if you look online in the reviews, you will notice and see that the results may vary. So keep that in mind as you're trying to like test some of those things out. Some of them may be atypical to environment or different deers in.
So most of those, yeah, different. If you don't have bear in that area, and the deer don't recognize bear as a natural predator, it's not going to do shit to them.
Yeah.
If you went out to some hunting store, Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, something like that, and you picked up some bear urine or bear pheromone,
so
that's going to be more attracted towards mating season.
Gotcha.
So if you're
sense.
if you're using that hormone out of bear mating season, the deer are smart enough to go, that smell isn't around here this time of year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're going to recognize it. It's just like fish, dude. Fish are smart. Animals are smart like that. When they've been in nature their whole life, when something from out of nature shows up, they know it really, really, really quick. So like bear piss would work, as long as like they're, as long as the deer recognize it. You know what I mean?
I've heard blood meal work, like you're asking. But like I said, when it comes to certain things like scent, results kind of vary, just because it depends on what's going on in those circumstances.
Well, and you got to watch out with blood meal too, because you're gonna attract shit too.
Yeah.
And you start pouring blood meal on, and then you start getting fucking wolves and coyotes and stray dogs and cats digging through your garden.
I've heard you could use bars of soap, specifically Irish Spring. I don't know how actually successful that is, since I don't have deer in my property to test it on myself. But as I've seen online, results may vary.
Yeah.
So, like, you just got to keep that in mind that, like...
It's like a pest prevention, I don't know. As a nitrogen source, it works really well. Blood meal works really well for a nitrogen source.
I really like using blood meal. But then if you look into blood meal, you got to think about how's it sourced too, because wouldn't there be some like byproducts that you could potentially get into there, like heavy metals or
I'm sure
things like that, so you gotta like look how it's sourced.
Well, and ethically, like,
yeah,
how are those animals being treated? Or do you care? And then like that gets into your like how anal are you about it? So like hunters, hunters, people who deer hunt, all that stuff, they hunt for food. Those guys are going for the cleanest kill possible. And the reason they're going for the cleanest kill possible is they don't want a lot of adrenaline in the meat. They don't want adrenaline in the blood pumping through the meat, because it absolutely 100% affects the flavor. So, with that being said, if I'm using blood meal from a slaughterhouse where animals are constantly stressed out, they know what's about to happen to them. Do you think there's a little bit of adrenaline in them before they get taken to slaughter? So you think that flavor is in your meat? Probably. So if you're using blood meal, do you think that
adrenochrome
is going to end up as a source for your food? What is it?
That transfers over.
Or what it creates?
Yeah. What can it cause?
Maybe it's a vibe thing, like, the plant's like, this is some negative shit, so I'm going to throw out some weird-ass flavors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anything's really in there as far as that goes. Then there was some other things. There's, like, some specific plants that I think that they don't like.
Yeah.
You have to really look, if you got something specific, I would look it up online specifically for that. I can do that myself, honestly. I can hit you back if you want me to, and we can go through all these different groups, because I also am in a ton of gardening groups, because I just love the garden.
What up, God?
So Another thing you could do is also ask a lot of the gardening groups online, because like we had someone talk about their grandparents using bear urine. So definitely something you could do. So
Appreciate you, brother.
You were talking about using a plant to like take it the other way. I know you could probably use hunting urine probably the same way by trying to use some attract them in different locations so that they go that way instead of towards your grow. Thinking that way would probably be more effective, I would feel, than trying to just deter them entirely.
Yeah. My wife's grandpa had really good results with a motion sensor sprinkler system. Really good results. They walk up to your garden, they get ready to eat, the motion sensor sprinkler, it's a, right?
They freak out.
And it fucking loud noise, and they get hit with water and they dip out. Like, the really big, really smart ones might make it through, but you're gonna knock a lot, like deter a lot that way.
Man, that even deters people. Honestly, if we're talking about deterring things, fun story. When I was a kid, my sister didn't make very good friends, and she had some friends that wanted to egg our house because of it. And so my dad got like motion sensor sprinkler alarm things. And so
oh, here's another good trick on the deer thing. Plant some hot ass peppers around the barrier of your plants.
There you go.
They won't fuck with that shit, dude. They won't even walk through it. Their noses are so sensitive. And honestly, like, when I was using that as a preventative, is what I was doing is I wasn't even harvesting the peppers. I was letting the plants die and just letting the peppers fall, hit the ground, and decompose. So the ground becomes, because it's got all that pepper oil on it, it becomes very spicy to smell. And the reason why I was doing that was actually to keep cats out. Like, when they started coming in to pee in my garden and shit, they start smelling around. When they catch a nose of, like, ghost pepper powder, they will not come back to that spot to pee or eat or do anything. They hate it. And deer will be the same way. When that hits their nose, because their nose... Imagine if you did a line of cayenne pepper.
Oof.
Okay? An animal's nose, especially the deer or bear or something like that, is going to be much more sensitive than ours. Even a dog or a cat. So, like, when they're sniffing around looking for something to eat or a place to pee, that shit's going right up their nasal cavity. They are gone for a minute. So
another thing you could use that's very similar to that is capsaicin concentrate oils. And so when I say you can try using these, I mean use the greatest discretion possible, because this stuff is super sensitive. If you touch it on your skin, you're gonna regret it. Okay. So like,
fuck with that shit.
Just be careful, but it is very effective.
Oh, I saw that a little earlier, Michael. I've been meaning to pop in and comment on it, but I was waiting for the comments to kick off a little bit. The debate in the auto grow room about HPS versus LED and my thoughts. I'm going to say one thing. Anybody who stands in front of you and will tell you that one is better than the other is wrong. Period. This is apples to oranges. You have to understand. When we compare high intensity discharge lighting or any type of plasma lighting to LED or gas lighting to LED, we are literally comparing apples to oranges. And I did see a comment in there about somebody saying, what's the par on your HPS? Nobody knows, because nobody measures par on HPS. And the reason why is because it's different. It performs different for the plant. So in order to say HPS is better than LED, you have to give me a specific plant. You have to give me what the criteria of better is. And then we have to grow that one plant underneath both lights and see which meets the criteria of better. And I guarantee you, if you take another plant and put that and do the same experiment, your results will vary. And the reason why is because I've literally seen plants that perform phenomenally under LED and don't perform shit under HPS, and vice versa. I have plants that you put them under an HPS and they do shit that you would have never thought of if you are only growing under LED. And that's just that. You can't say which one is better. The debate can go back and forth all people want, but there's so much speculation and so many variables that are involved. You literally couldn't advocate for one or the other to say hands down this is better. And it's literally just because of the fact that some plants respond better to HPS and some plants respond better to LED and some plants respond best under mixed light. So you can't. That's why I was curious. That's why I didn't really get too deep into that post yet, because I wanted a bunch of comments in there so I could go in there and educate a handful of people all at once. But that whole argument is pointless.
Yeah.
That's like saying apples are better than oranges.
Okay, but then you also got to understand there's different qualities of HPS and different qualities of LED. So then you get into dimensions of it. It's like you got a low quality LED versus a high quality HPS or vice versa.
If you took my open hood double-ended HPS that was produced by, and in my opinion, the best gaslight producing company was Hortilux. So you take their super flower bulb and their fucking veg light, they're blue, and you do a run under those, and you took the best LED light in the market right now, I would say the Fohas or the Avisi from Revolution Micro, like the high-end LEDs. Like when you put those together, you're going to have completely different results. Absolutely different results. And like, okay, here's an example. My buddy grew the breakfast in Paris under his hydro system under high pressure sodium. I grow under LEDs in soil. The plant looked exactly the same. He yielded more. I'm really excited to see if I get the notes out of his that I get in mine. I think his are going to be all strawberry and gas and none of the subtle earth notes that I have. So you can't say at all one is better. You can take the low of both and compare them, and you're going to have results that you cannot say which is better across the board. There's no way to be like, hands down, LED is the best. Now, when we start getting into finances and electricity and environment control and efficiency, I can say on all of that end, LED gives you a better level of manageability. On the other end, when you start getting into that with LED, all of your specs are much more precise. Meaning high pressure sodium gives you this level of like, I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to lights of an environment, but as long as I maintain this range, I'll be solid. Right? Like you can run high pressure sodium, and as long as you can keep the environment within a certain range, you can absolutely crush it. And the idea is you don't have to worry about how many light photons are hitting your canopy. You just have to worry about the temperature of the light burning them. Right? Yeah. So I threw a par meter under a high pressure sodium light just to see what it was. Just to see 1,000 watt single in high pressure sodium at that level where it's just not warm anymore, right? Where you would put your canopy, any old school high pressure sodium grower knows, like from the light, when you don't feel the warmth, that's where your canopy needs to be. So by doing that method and throwing a par meter underneath right around 600 ppfd on the low end of flowering, like the low spectrum of flowering. When I run my LED, I'm running at about 700 or 800 ppfd. Closer to 9 to 1,000 if I'm running the CO2. So I didn't even think about that when I'm running HPS, to be honest with you. The bulb, the light delivers it on its own. You don't even think about it. You have more, if if you can keep the temperatures down, you can let those buds touch the light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
If you could keep it cool, they could touch it and it'd be fine. LEDs are not that way. The intensity of those diodes is much different. The light spread is the concentration of light particles is much, much different. And that's why you can't really say what's better. And all these LED companies were the ones who started that shitty argument, saying my 125 watt LED is comparable to 1,000 watt HPS. You're bullshit. Your 125 watt LED is comparable to 125 watt HPS. Period. That's it. The footprint is what matters, and an HPS gives you spread and penetration. An LED gives you spread. So you have to have those high photons at the canopy, or else the plant doesn't realize there's fucking light there. High pressure sodium, because of the infrared that's present in that, infrared and green light, they carry photons deeper into the plant tissue. So you can have a lighter light frequency. And those photons penetrate deeper so the plant can utilize it better. Some plants don't want that. They don't want that level of penetration because they've been bred under LEDs.
Yeah.
Some plants that were bred under high pressure sodium need that level of penetration. They don't want LEDs because they don't offer that level of penetration. Now, a good grower will recognize, like, oh, we can increase that level of penetration by increasing our temperatures, increasing our humidity, and increasing PPFD. So in high pressure sodium, I run my room at 78 degrees. Under an LED, I run it at 83. High pressure sodium, 45 to 50%. LED, 55 or 50 to 55%. And then same drop at the end of the flower. So it, like, you can't compare.
It's completely different ballgame.
Completely different.
So what about combining them?
That's mixed light. Some plants prefer that. Some plants don't. You have a plant that doesn't like HPS and you throw any amount of light from an HPS towards it, whatever part of the plant's getting majority of that light is going to be like, fuck you. So you have to do like, and I've seen grows do a checkerboard, commercial grows where they do a double-ended HPS and a series of LEDs, and they've matched the footprints and checkerboard. It takes a lot of mapping in your cubic footage, your square footage, because your double-ended might cast like this. So you only get like a 3x3 spread. Unless you go up like 14 feet above the canopy or whatever, right? The higher you go, the more the spread gets, but the lower your PPFD. So they got these double-endeds. They're keeping them like 4 or 5 feet above the canopy, and they're hitting like a 3-4 foot spread. And so then they get an LED that they're dropping close to the same spot. It's got to be the same intensity. A lot of them are using cob lights, but they're getting away from those. And they're starting to use more like the VC, like a box-style LED that just throws wide and runs higher wattage. And so they're checkerboarding those, and they're getting like this mixed light efficient. And some of them are having really good success. I think when you do that, you kind of open up what you can grow. You know what I mean? Like you're like, oh, I've got like a little bit more variety. But honestly, in my opinion, almost everybody's switched over to LEDs. So the amount of stuff that's being bred under high pressure sodium is very, very limited unless you've got big companies like Ethos who have these facilities where they can go, yeah, we do some high pressure sodium, we do some LED, we do some mixed light breeding. Like when they start selecting and cultivating in for specific environments, and it becomes really, really different. So they have stuff that does well under high pressure sodium and LED. So yeah, again, I'm excited to jump into that comment thread just because there's a lot of people that I think are hung up on one is better than the other. And if I had my way, I'd have a room with both.
Well, yeah, and but honestly, what about the cost for the efficiency of the power of the unit? So, how much money does it cost for it to be used? Is there a comparison in that too?
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, yeah and no. It depends. Like if we're running, okay, so if I run my 1150 watt, my LED at 1150 watt, right, and I put it next to a double-ended high pressure sodium light, I'm gonna get. I mean, assuming the plant does well under both lights, I'm gonna get about 12% efficiency from my LED. It's gonna be 12% more efficient as far as energy consumption than my HPS.
So in the long run, maybe you'll be saying something.
On a large scale, long run, yes. But at the end of the day, if production is down, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I have a buddy who runs high pressure sodium. He swears by him, and the other side is LEDs are expensive to switch over, so that's what he still rocks, right? So it's awesome to take stuff that I know performs under, like the breakfast in Paris, dude. That shit performs under LED and under HPS. Throws down, frosty AF. Period. The shit is bulletproof. So I think like that one is a good example of like, all right, let's start kind of comparing. We've got breakfast in Paris. It does well under HPS. It does well under LED. It's cheaper for me to grow it, right? Just because the light, I can do it under 600 watts. I'm only pulling 600 watts. I can get my light closer. So I'm pulling only 600 watts versus 1,000. Temperatures are lower, so I'm not having to run an AC unit. Right?
Yeah.
So power consumption wise, I fucking win. Now, if we go over to yield side, I can't really compare yield at this point because he's growing hydroponic. If we compared our two grows, he's crushing me on yield. Yeah. Dude, one plant, it looked like he pulled what's in my entire tent. Like, he was like, I think I got this much. I was like, that's what I get off of a plant. Soil under my 600 watt LEDs, and that shit looks way bigger than anything I've pumped out. So you have easily double to triple what I do on one plant, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see what his yield is. He vegged a little bit longer than me, but at the end of the day, like he was able to pull fatter, tighter buds than me under his HPS with same amount of resin. Now, terpene profile. LEDs are known to draw out flavor. They're known to draw out oils. Like, if you got some greasy shit, it's going to be even greasier under LEDs. Like, that shit will drip grease under LEDs. So, LEDs, because of the intensity of photons that they hit, the plant is known to produce more resin, which I think is a plus. All right, so we're going to compare weight to resin content. I like the shit that gets me stoned, but somebody growing for product might like the biomass more, you know? So now we're getting into like speculation, which one's better, well, in my opinion, in your opinion, type thing.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, what is it going to be that's changing more people over to LEDs currently? And is it the convenience factor, or is it the price point? Is it how much that you potentially might be saving in terms of costs, or is it, what is it that's setting the trend?
Oh, efficiency. I can literally run. Excuse me. I can grow quality flower for less on the electric bill. That's the biggest thing.
So we got a couple questions in the room here.
Yeah.
Says his room stays at 75 to 80 degrees 24/7.
Oh yeah, 100%.
How will it? I feel like that depends how
He's
does
running.
it get in your environment outside. Though.
So he's here in town. He's running 1,000 watt HPS currently. They seem to be doing pretty good so far, which they will be. If your room is staying 75, 80 degrees 24/7, Once your lights start going out, like when you're not running 24/7 anymore, and you start reducing your light cycle to 18/6, or start reducing it to 12 and 12 to flower, basically is what you're gonna have a slight different temperature change. So you have this option to run at nighttime, which allows you to kind of fuck with cooler temperatures with your lights on. So like at night when it's cooler, you've got a hot light, so you're not fighting hot air when you're doing like this air exchange. Or you can grow during the daytime, but typically you need a little bit more cooling involved.
What about all those different HUD options that they got for HPSs? Because don't some of those potentially have more?
Yeah. So you have an option, a ventilated hood where it's like a sealed hood, and you can pull air through those hoods and cool them. But that's just another fan that you have to put in, right? Like now you've got to have a fan that pulls your light, and you got to have a fan that cools the environment. So it is more, you're pulling a lot more amps. So anyways, heater pops when lights turn off during the day. Have them on at night. I'll have to check here. We got to bounce some folks. Looks like. What up, Aaron? Thanks for popping in. So, yeah. How's that going over there?
Good. Took care of it.
Yep. Let me scroll up. I saw a couple comments that I was missing. Those jerk faces. Took it over. Okay, so let's see. Steven Campagna is running Mars 2000 YLED. But Steven,
Did you get Mike? Marks?
yeah, I talked to Michael about that. Does it matter if you're popping seeds? Just for like your light, not really. I think if that's your question. Steven runs a Mars 2000, mainly white LED and a bit Steven purple. What's the difference in just a normal LED board alone?
So let me jump back to that seeds real quick though. Haven't you ever popped seeds like straight up in no light? Start your germination process with no light.
Yeah, you should. They should be in dark until they sprout. Yeah. Like until you have little roots showing out the bottom, you should keep them in darkness, and then once they're in the ground and the roots showing, you typically want to light over the top because, believe it or not, gravity mostly tells them where to grow, but the light gives them a direction. What's up, Clint? Thanks for jumping in, man. So, yeah, I'm stoked to check out some of your breakfast in Paris, man. You just let me know when it's ready, and we'll do a little review here on the show. If you've paid attention, packaging is important. We do actually even have some donation requirements for the show, just so that we can get a good review. If you're interested, just holler at me or we'll get it, James. So yeah, as far as like popping seeds go in your light situation, you really just need a soft light. I use fluorescence for that, and then once they're kind of established, then they go into a much more intense light, and that's really like, since we seem to be, I don't know why I spun out on this light conversation, but you would be surprised how your plants react when you switch types of light. So if you veg under a fluorescent and go under an LED to flower, your plant behaves differently than when you veg under the same light that you flower under. I could show you pictures of the holy smoke I have right now and show you pictures of my last round of holy smoke, and you would think they were different buds.
Okay.
100%. You wouldn't even know they were the same plant. They look completely, the flower structure looks different. The color is like, on one is like super lime green and orange. The other one is dark purple.
Oh.
Same terpene profile, completely different morphology. And the only reason it's growing that way is because I do different shit when I, like, play around.
Do you have the, like, same environmental conditions, though?
For the most part, other than a few very subtle changes. Light intensity is lower right now than it was.
Okay.
Pots were bigger. And environmental conditions were slightly cooler. So it's really, really interesting when you really start making very, very subtle changes, how you can get a plant to like express differently.
Oh, yeah.
Like all of a sudden be like, holy shit. So now we start talking big changes, like changing in light and stuff like that. You can get really big expressions when you're like, oh yeah, you can't get this expression out of the plant unless you veg it here and then flower it here. So like the biggest difference between those two grows was this one was vegged under the VC and flowered under the VC. The other one was vegged under a T8 fluorescent tube and then given 2 weeks under the VC and then flowered. That difference in its ability to like process light affected the way the flower produced in the end. Much frostier buds. Like way frostier and stickier. It was nuts. So, and it's really like the point of that was to show like this is what happens when you grow for resin. This is what happens when you grow for flower. Like that was really the big. This is resin. This is flower. The apple pie a la mode turned out so greasy. Now it's not nearly as slick. It's got a little bit more tacky to it. Same thing. Same conditions, just veg differently.
That's interesting.
Doesn't take much. And I don't think people realize that when they're growing, how subtle of a change can really affect. Something you wouldn't even think about. Like, I don't get why these turned out different. Well, your seed run, you went under all the same light. Your clone run, you went from this light to that light to that light. You know what I mean? So it's stuff you really have to pay attention to if you want to start noticing those little tweaks that may happen in your garden and you're going like, I don't understand why this happened. You made a change that you didn't recognize. Your water temperature was lower or higher by 2 degrees. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your humidity dropped 3 degrees 1 week earlier.
You had different bacteria in your soil.
Yeah. Like that shit makes a mad difference. And I'm starting to realize, I really started paying attention to that stuff when I was asking Logan and David, why do you guys constantly think my flower's better? What makes my flower so much better to your guys' when we're growing the same cuts? They're like, it's just because you grow it. I'm like, there's something I'm doing. What? And I don't know, it's really difficult to, because they grow really good weed. They grow really good weed. So I'm just trying to figure it, like, I started trying to figure out, like, well, what am I doing different that they're not? Well, I'm vegging under different lights, fucking with my spectrum through the veg and the flower stage. Like I have this ability to change more like an HPS and metal halide versus just an LED. And I think that's another thing. I want to go back into the high pressure sodium or the high intensity discharges. You have the opportunity to go blue, red, or full mix with CMH, right? So with LEDs, unless you go on the super high end like mine, you're stuck with just full spectrum, which is the equivalent to CMH. I can put my plant to be more blue or more red or more white if I want. So that's kind of a benefit. Being able to play with your spectrum can definitely give your plant different productivity. What's up, Daniel? I'll let you take over.
Sure, yeah. did we talk about a lot of these comments? I feel like we haven't caught up to them all.
I think we stopped at like right above Zachary's.
Yeah.
Take it.
Once I start popping out the root right cube, I turn on the light for 48 to 72 hours. Hell yeah, man. A lot of times I've used extra light on my clones just to try to get propagation going a little bit more, kind of get it, but you still want that proper light cycle. So, are you talking about seeds though?
Who's that?
Or is he talking about clones?
Oh, probably seeds. Most people, when it's really funny, propagation. Most people, when we're using the word propagation, they're talking about seeds. Especially if in the dark.
I didn't even read his comment underneath.
Yeah. But
in a dark propagation dome, yeah, dude, that's totally killer. Yeah.
I do want to say propagation is the entire process of growing a plant from start to finish.
Lilac and grapes grew under fluorescent couple days under the HPS and flowering and growing fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly what's going on with the Bavista only veg, and then add Mars come flower and time. So you're changing lights?
Yeah, he's using his Bestiva only, which is like a purple light, it sounds like, and then he's using his Mars, which is like I would say more full spectrum.
Okay. And how does that have you tried like vice versas and like compared results and done other things like that, and what happened? Daniel says he's cutting grass. Oh, dude, I hate cutting grass.
Have you just got done trimming or cutting down plants or like literally mowing the lawn? Sorry.
I mean, there are specifics.
If I was harvesting plants, my dad came over, he would straight up be like, looks like your wife got you cutting the grass, huh? Like some dumb dad joke shit. So
I've used several different LEDs, Mark. I got them actually under here, under Coach. Flip them out real quick and show you guys.
I used the VC from Revolution Micro. I was an HPS grower, and I spent 4 years researching LEDs before I bought one. I refuse to invest in shit lights over and over and over and over and over again. And high pressure sodium is really like super basic technology. High intensity discharge is super basic technology. So you're really not buying a lot other than bulbs. So I had to do a lot of research into LEDs before I went in and started buying them. So it's been 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, I bought the VC from Revolution Micro, and that light has been the only LED I've seen that really comes close to producing what, like, the weight that a high pressure sodium does on the wattage and the coverage that it does. And that's really important to have a light at 600 watts, throw a 5x5 is killer. You have to spend a lot of money for an LED to do that, and then to have the functions that it has, it really is just in my opinion, a superior LED. But I am kind of biased because that's literally like the only LED I run for a long time. So
Yeah, so I've run this Packworks for a couple of years. Honestly, it's been holding pretty strong, and puts out some fat buds. But honestly, it doesn't have the
spread.
It doesn't have the spread.
It doesn't have the coverage.
Yeah.
So you can barely get a plant underneath it.
Exactly.
So you're really not getting the number of photons per watt that you should. So they always say, like, what are the U-moles per joule?
Yeah.
Right? So a U-mole is, think of it like a dozen eggs, right? Like we say a dozen and know that that's 12.
Yeah.
So a U-mole is 100,000 billion particles of light. So how a joule is the amount of power that the light pulls. So they say, how many U-moles per joule do you get with your LED? And that tells you like how many light photons per amount of power that you're pulling. And it gives you the coverage, and you would find out that that light probably isn't at 150 watts. It can do the job, but it's actually not the most efficient an LED could be. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it'll grow a plant good. You'll get good buds off of it, big buds. Like, you can grow a plant under it. But if you're like, am I really getting the bang for my buck on my wattage? The answer is no. And you can actually compare LEDs together, and you'll be like, oh, these guys get 2.1 U-moles per joule. These guys get 2.3 U-moles per joule. These guys are hitting 2.9 U-moles per joule, which is where my LED's at. And that's pretty, like, I haven't seen much higher than 2.9 U-moles per joule. So you're getting a much higher, like, for every watt that you're delivering, you're getting a much higher photon dispersion, which allows you to run lower watts, right?
Yeah.
You can run down to like 300 watts and get the efficiency of a 600 watt. Like, you can get the intensity of a 600 watt on the 300 watt. Versus like this at 100 watt, 115 watt, 120 watt, it's probably not producing the same light photons.
Yeah, if you have to get higher with that light, you lose intensity. That's for sure. And so what I was doing to compensate with that is to, like, basically, I have two of these, and I had them set up like this for the longest time, and then I had like a little mini blur, little supplementary lights in between, so.
Yep.
And that was, working, getting me my 6, and I wasn't having a problem. I wasn't skipping a beat, and yeah, I just got that Mars. So.
Oh, you'll see that Mars will fucking smash that guy. So, look at those diodes.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are designed to shoot straight down, and then they goes through these lenses, and that spreads the light out. So you lose light particles through those lenses. The new LED diodes disperse the light sideways a little bit more. So they don't need the lenses. So you can get a wider spread with more like photon delivery.
Gotcha.
I don't know how, I mean, this looks like it's been pretty good, but part of the other reason why a lot of companies have gotten away from those is because those lenses actually start to cloud out after a while.
Yeah.
And so if you put a par meter under them brand new and then run them for like 2 or 3 years and throw a par meter under them, they're like
always
drop.
They'll always degrade.
Right.
You got to understand, everything's made out of atoms, and we will all be sands and grains of time. So like,
It's just how long it's
Yeah.
gonna take.
exactly. So
So yeah, I mean, lighting is really an interesting concept. I mean, yeah, but that's I think those are good for like, yeah, you're trying to get your, 6 ounces or whatever off 6 plants, like
starting out.
that'll smash it. When you get into something like I have, you can do your 6 plants and pull pounds. You know what I mean? Because you can fill the canopy space. If you got more of these, you could fill a bigger canopy space. Your 6 could be bigger. You could increase your yield. Right? Canopy size is what dictates yield for the most part. I have seen these little fucking $100 board, like quantum board knockoff LEDs, that are like the size of that, and they throw off a purple, but it's kind of a softer. They don't grow plants for shit. Like they'll grow them, but when it comes to flower, you won't get the flower production.
It's like CFLs.
It's like, dude, not even that. Like maybe almost like the buds just don't come out much bigger. Like I saw a cherry pie, like just nuts, dude. Just shit that you're like, okay, you have to get a better light. You could do this all your life, and you're never gonna really get beyond this until you improve on the light that you get. So I do have to say that it is important. Like if you've got a 4x4 tent or a 5x5 tent or a 3x3 tent, think about like covering that spread with one light where you can keep it at least 2 to 3 feet from the canopy. I mean, even if you can go anywhere from, I don't know, 24, 36 inches, I think is like one of those, like a good LED that's going to give you this range, because you can turn it down and go closer. You can turn it up and go further. It gives you area to play. Save up $500-$600 and you'll get an LED in that range. If you're looking for $500-$600. It used to be, I used to tell people, you want to get started, look at least $1,000 for a light. But they've gone down. Like those bar styles that were, used to be able to get those bar styles for like $1,200 was like cheap. And now you can get them for like $3.
I heard this rumor: if you get a "Weed Should Taste Good" shirt, you just look better under an LED light. Just saying.
I'll tell you right now, Brother Mendel's plants, they crush under LED.
Yeah.
You grow his shit under LED and they'll slap, dude. All of them. Everything I have of his under LED. Just getting fat, dude. Ugh. In 2-gallon pots, bro. That's what's blowing my mind. In 2-gallon pots, I got buds, dude, like this microphone.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you, dude. I've got a Romulan that has a bud as big as that microphone. Stupid. Just. It looks like a shaver. It didn't do any fascination, but it doubled its tops. So it's 2 tops growing next to each other like this. But they swelled out. So it looks flat like this and then bulged out. So it looks like one of those old school electric shavers.
Yeah, I actually threw it out from the station because it can be
Genetic.
It can be genetic, but like
What?
just seeing several resources say that it can be viral. And
From
it
seed?
scares me.
From seed?
I guess it could be from seed. I don't know what specifically about it makes it viral or what.
Just some resources said like, this could be viral in your plant. That's all.
Yeah, it could be viral mutations, genetics, and there's something else that it could be caused by. Mutations caused by like several different things. It's not just one. entity.
I had that article because I'd like to read up on it because I'm sure it has to do like when it shows, where it shows, how it shows, when it,
Right.
This shit was passation from seed and I took from clone and the whole fucking plant. I was like, holy shit. But sister isn't that way.
Gotcha.
The 96 Romulan, and that's the thing, like,
I've seen clones do it, dude. So, like,
so
it's
that's,
weird.
yeah, I don't know. But I think it just depends on, like, where you pull it from the plant.
And
I, like,
it could just be a mutation, too.
that's all it is.
Like,
That's what I mean. It's just a genetic mutation. Everything I have it in is from some form of inbreeding. Like that's where it primarily shows up. If you've got an inbred line, you're gonna get more mutations like that than not. If you've got an F1 that's showing fascination, all right, cool, I'll give it to you. Maybe viral, maybe something in the seed, but
what about maybe something in the soil?
well, that's what I mean though.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's kicked that off.
Right.
When you're using the exact same soil blend over and over and over, brand new, you're not bringing anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, so for me to look at it, I can guarantee you that's not disease. Like, if it was something in that soil, then I'd have a variety of plants that would show that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You know you can correct it? I've totally experimented with it before where you take that flat piece of the stalk. So let's say this is the stalk, right? It's big, thick, and flat, right?
Yeah.
And so we come along with like, your cloning shears, or your scalpel, and you take that stalk and you literally cut it down the.
You didn't have to cut it all the way down.
Yeah, you kind of give it little
Just
stems.
Just a tiny little slice. Like all I do is take a razor blade and I drop it in like, where the very tip of the razor, I just drop that in like a 32nd of an inch. Just enough of a slit to where it'll seal right there and grow. Yeah. And this one will seal and grow. And this one will seal. Once they get about this long, then you bend them the opposite ways.
Yeah.
And then they grow into branches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you start. Last time I had one that was like this, and I did it. I braided them, or braided them, because you can start twisting them once they heal. The plant wants to get rid of those mutations. So, like, I pulled a branch that must have had it, because on this plant that I pulled it from, it was only only lowers a couple lower branches. So one of them that I pulled was that. So all I have to do is wait for a branch off of that doesn't show any fascination traits and clone off of that. The plant wants to repair itself. It wants to get out of that mutation because it knows it's either a weakness or maybe it's going to help it. If it's going to help it, it'll keep it. But most of the time, I've seen most plants grow out of it. Like from seed, you take clones, you take a select clone by like second or third generation. You get really strong stalk, big buds, but it's not like that weird snaky caterpillar-y looking pattern.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be 90% of those mutations are supposed to be corrected, whereas you get like that 1 percentile that it just takes, and it's like an error in the cell's reproduction, and it just copies the incorrect copy.
Yeah.
Essentially is what had happened, and that's what the error is. Mm-hmm. Instead of copying the good gene, it copies
replicates the shit gene.
Yeah,
yeah, and that's a result of inbreeding. Yeah, that's literally like, oh, you did a shitty job making this inbred line.
Well, so mutations can be affected by radiation, and they can also be affected by enzymes.
I use amino acids because they're building blocks of protein, creates enzymes. You go into that whole thing, and that's how I create like a lot of mutations. Like It's funny you bring that up because I was in a conversation the other day about somebody with TMV, tobacco mosaic virus. Looks very similar to variegation, causes variegation.
Yeah.
Right. TMV looks a lot like variegation in a plant. So I had back and forth. I'm like, are you sure it's TMV? Yeah, that's all it could be. Have you had your leaf tested? No, I don't need to test. This is what TMV looks like. Bet. Add some vitamins and amino acids from Microbe Life. That's not going to do shit. Bet. Add that for a week. Get back to me on the new growth. If that shit doesn't fix it, then go send your leaf in for testing and prove to me that you've got TMV.
All right, guys. With that, we need to get to break real quick. Be sure to hear out these words from our sponsors. We'll be with you real soon.
Yeah.
Don't go away.
Much love.
Hello, adventurers. Agent Jim here from Colorado, CannaTopia.
Brother Mendel Selections is a United States-based company that carries a wide variety of photoperiod and auto-flowering seeds. Brother Mendel Selections creates genetics with complex terpene profiles and vigorous growth. For great deals on ever-growing list of strains, visit Brother Mendel Selections website at gomendel.com. That's www.gomendel.com for Brother Mendel's premium genetics.
We can all agree weed should taste good. Let the world know what's on your mind with all the Weed Should Taste Good apparel from weedshouldtastegood.com. With hats, shirts, hoodies, and all sorts of awesome gear to fit your style, Hey guys, welcome back to Colorado, CannaTopia. I'm restarting Instagram.
Oh, the Avici was it's AVICI from revolutionmicro.com. That one was it set you back about 12 or 1400 bucks. Plus a controller. Audio crash. Audio crashed out. Yo, can you guys hear us? Can you hear me? Says we got Mike on our end. You guys hear us? Okay. Checking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check 1, 5.
If you can hear us, be sure to share
Loud and clear.
Share this to your friends.
Heck yeah, if you can hear it, share it. If you can't hear it, share it. Check. All right. So, read any new good books lately? You read much?
Dude, I do when I get the chance, honestly. I've been trying to read this composting book that's from like the 50s.
Yeah.
It's like really dig into like older gardening books because they have like a lot of different gardening techniques if you like look into it. And so like I really enjoy diversing into different gardening knowledge because it's so dull reading the same thing over and over. And when it comes to gardening, it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. It's not necessarily so complicated. It's not. And so when you start reading a lot of like the gardening books about just basic gardening, it's kind of all the same stuff.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice getting down into like different gardening methods and actually really collaborating into those different things.
Mhm.
And so, like, oh, have you ever seen of those like really weird? It's like the ultimatum index of like wives' tale garden solutions.
Oh, yeah.
Throw some tums in there. You're like just like some of the
Just
craziest
shit,
things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's
It's
calcium in that. Use it. Okay. I mean, you'd eat it. Why, if if you put it in your body, why not put it in the plants?
sure.
That's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm sure it's water dissolvable, so like I bet you it's slow release, bro.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just got to know how much to use so you don't
Yeah.
raise the sodium too much in your soil. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Just don't raise the sodium levels up too much.
Um,
That's dope, dude. I love reading gardening books, honestly. I'm reading one now. It's not a gardening book. It's like this cannabis kind of botany book. And it's interesting because as I opened up and started getting into like the first chapter, the initial part is describing like how cannabis was spread through the states,
gotcha.
or not through the states but through the world, like from where it originated to like how it was dispersed, and everything in that book was like what I had learned from the Ganjier program. So I'm like reading this, I'm like, yeah, I knew that. Okay, cool, I knew that. Okay, cool, I knew that. All right, they showed the map and like narrow leaf, broadleaf, all this, and how it was like organized, like where they found it concentrated in the area. It's like, oh yeah, knew that, knew that, knew that, knew that. So I'm waiting, I'm getting through this book, and I'm like, when are we gonna get into this stuff? I want to know about botany.
There is a book I've been reading that I set down a while ago that is about earlier cannabis laws.
Yeah,
So I set it down because I mean it was kind of new, it was kind of relevant, and so like I already knew most of the stuff that was in it. So I set it down thinking I'd come back to it because like eventually a lot of the stuff's gonna change and
oh yeah,
advance or evolve or whatever. So I was pretty looking forward to jumping back into that book and like seeing the complete differences of how everything has gotten.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. The laws are nuts, dude. That's one that's hard to follow. Super hard to follow because it does change so much, and it's the movie Reaper Madness. It's funny and it's like a cult classic. But I'm
Oh.
like,
I watch it and it makes me feel like I'm higher than I am.
oh,
Bro, like I'm just like, what is this? It's messing with my head right now.
it's like a whole thing to like sarcastically, ironically hate on cannabis now.
Oh, for sure, but like
Ugh.
it gives me this like I feel like I'm higher than I really am vibe because
Yeah.
like everything's so surreal and just like what? It's wild.
Hey, didn't you have something with a giveaway or some shit you wanted to talk about last night? You forgot about
Did I?
something.
Oh yeah, so we had a giveaway for this last February, and we had a winner, and our winner has not messaged us uh his details. So if you're that winner, and we told you, congratulations, you won for that February spin. We did like the wheel of death, the big wheel, and
Hit us up.
yeah, hit us up, man. Come get your prize. We're only gonna hold on to it for so long, so I'm sure.
I'm saying by the end of the week. If you don't hit us up by the end of the week, we're giving it away next show.
There you go.
Next week's show. Not
There's
tomorrow's show.
there's some standards being set there. All right, we gotta figure it out.
Was it me? Wasn't you, Clint? Sorry, buddy. Maybe next time. You haven't hit anything in away in a long time. Who won the wheel spin? Remember his name?
Oh no, I haven't been able to. I had to go. I have to go look it up.
We announced it, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Let me look it up right now.
Eating orange hard candy. Get out of here with that, Daniel. The orange hard candy weed is the dankest weed you ever smoked. And if you eat the orange hard candy, you'll know what that weed tastes like. What's up? How you doing, John? Nothing like homegrowns in the house. Dude, throw some love towards Clayton, man. I haven't seen him pop on much. You know what I mean? That boy hit me up sometime. Tell him what up. Show him some love from Colorado, CannaTopia.
Show.
I've been in Facebook jail for the last 30 days too, so if he feels like I haven't been showing him much love, that's why. But yeah, I want to give something away just cause. We haven't given something away in a long time, should we?
I think it was Matthew Masters.
Did you ever decide on your edible?
Edible.
What about it?
What edible?
Did you get high off that brownie? I think that's what he's talking about.
That brownie that I ate? I mean,
yeah, he was fucked up. You should go back and watch that show. He was thrashed.
I mean, I ate a lot of. I did other shit too, though, man. I did those dabs. I think isn't that what I did? I can't remember.
Oh, for my party. Daniel, you have to be really descriptive because I'm high at this point. So I'm like, an edible. Last thing I remember with an edible is his experience with a brownie for my party. So I'm looking at like my time frame. And I won't have any time to make anything crazy, so I don't think I'm going to do anything like that. Like, I might throw out some munchies or whatever, but I think it's going to be like a bring your own snack kind of thing because I'm supplying like the flower part of it, smoking part of it, the movie part of it. So I think, yeah, I didn't really like do anything on that end just because I don't have time. All April, as soon as April kicks off, basically, I'm going to be going nonstop all the way to the end. I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm not because it's like meetings and then the KC Cannafest, and then I come back and it's like a big, like my family birthday thing, and then the Frenchie Cannoli Hashish viewing party, hookah party that's going down on the 29th. Yeah, it's going to be busy as shit, so I don't think I'm going to make any special infused stuff unless my buddy David wants to bring something. Ooh, I bet that shit was good, dude. Infused cotton candy's dank. Bring your own edibles. That's what I'm talking about, Steven. Dude, I'd totally look at that after the show because you're going to be digging forever.
Oh, no, I found it. It just keeps throwing me back.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Who is the winner?
It's this Matthew Masters.
Matthew Masters. Are you watching, Matthew? Matthew, are you watching? You watching? Matthew watching? I got Terry in the house. What's up? How are you all doing? I got a pipe I want to give away. You think? Yeah, we can do a trivia for it. Super Mario trivia.
Mario trivia.
What's on there?
Okay.
We could do another one. We could do a different type of trivia. Pipe.
Pokemon trivia. Let's see here. Oh man, you have to look something up because I don't know that much about these folks.
You don't know much about Maria?
I mean, I know this one like rabbit hole theory about Mario, how Peach just actually is married to Bowser and cheats on him.
Yeah.
Just like cold heartedly, you know, like that's why Bowser's all mad and keeps coming after her, man.
All right.
Hmm. Okay, so there's an interesting thing about that. You should look it up.
Okay.
I have to send you. I'll send it to you in a message.
All right.
Um,
Show them a picture of what I'm talking about without a name. And you guys have to tell me what the name of this thing is. And the first person to tell me the name of the picture that James is about to show you will be. Can't type it in down there, they'll see it. Will they? Oh, I'm stupid. I don't know how it works. Like it's on the same screen, they'll see it.
I'm sending you a message directly to your phone, bro. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
It's just funny.
Alright, you're all good.
Okay.
I just need to find an image that I can throw up there. Can you send a message to the Colorado CannaTopia team?
I might be able to.
If you send one, I can throw it up real quick. Or I could try to find one myself.
Let me see here. Sorry, we weren't prepared for this. I just decided to randomly do it. Come on, internet, do your thing.
Got it.
That's what I just said.
You sent it to me? Yeah.
All right. We're going to show you a picture of a Super Mario character. You not only have to tell me what the name of it is, but
Just tell me what it's named after.
but what part of your body is it named after? You have to give me two answers to win this dope little pipe. You have to tell me what this little thing is that James is showing you or about to show you, and what part of your body it's named after. So have fun with this.
Just got it up, guys.
Hopefully, there's no copyright infringements right here. We do not own the rights to these videos or these images. They are computer stock images.
right, this little dude.
All right. What is the name of that guy? What part of your body is he named after?
All losers right here.
One up mushrooms are grown from dead Marios.
Oh, how'd you know that?
Goomba, gallbladder. Close, but no.
Yeah, yeah. That is its name, but like, what is it named after?
It is a Goomba, but what part of your body is it named after? This is gonna,
Hitachi mushrooms.
this is gonna take some Google effort. I don't know either. Shit. Is that like Googleable?
I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it.
The only reason I know it is because a medical PhD dude told me. It's honestly probably one of the hardest questions I could have thought of. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a hard question. But it is a body part, so that's a really big clue, and it should be easy to Google. I feel after that, you
You
know.
basically have to know what James is thinking at this point.
I'm gonna just tell you right now, it's nothing inappropriate, so please don't be.
I don't see that anywhere on here.
Nope, you don't see it on there.
Mm-mm.
Oh, well,
The PhD doctor was fucking with you.
I mean, it's possible.
But there is a definition of Goomba. So I'm going to switch it up.
All right. So, well, let me tell you what the doctor told me, and the doctor told me it's named after this part of your ear, the little inner lobe, not your earlobe, but like the inner lobe. And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a Goomba. See right here.
Okay. So the dictionary, you guys ready for this? I don't know if I want to. If you Google it and look it up in a dictionary, I guess, at dictionary.com, first person to give me that description.
Oh my goodness.
I think we watched that giveaway. Steven was the first one to say Goomba. Should we just give it to him?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, shit. So I looked up. We're gonna give it to Stephen C. I can't pronounce your last name, brother. We're gonna send it off to you, Stephen Kempengana. He was the first one to say Goomba, so we're gonna send it off to him. Congratulations, buddy. So yeah, James was saying that Goomba meant it was a medical term for like this part of your earlobe. The dictionary is saying that dictionary.com, I'd like to mention, says it's a companion or associate, especially an older person who mentors and advises, a godfather or member of a criminal organization. So that's dictionaries.com meeting. Urban Dictionary, it says it's a weak enemy in almost all Mario games.
Goddess.
History of the word Goomba is a slang term used to describe people of Italian descent. It's predominantly used in the USA. Well, I'm partially Italian, and now I'm offended. So 1/4 of me is very pissed off. Just like the leg part.
Oh man.
That's enough of that. Congratulations, Steven. Woo!
Put in the work.
That's a cool little pipe, though. It's a little silicone thing. Logan's finally here. Jesus. Somebody was taking a nap. Good Lord. You missed all the fun shit. So, yeah, dude, you got a cool little, it's like a silicone pipe with a metal bowl insert. It's like Mario characters around it, and then it's got a silicone cap. I honestly, if it was my pipe, this would be really nice to smoke hash out of, because you can just put a little flour in there,
For sure.
put a little hash in there, take a rip, cap it, go on about your day. It's not going to spill, it's not going to break, blah blah blah. Take a rip, bap, cap. You don't have to load bowls all day. This is what I love about hashing small pipes like these, even those like old school metal ones. You know what I'm talking about? Like, okay, you had a brother or a friend that was all about hash resin, right? Like all about like when you smoked flour, you collect that big ball of resin.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay. So I knew guys that would take, those brass metal pipes that would come down and they had like a bell center. And then they would taper off into like your traditional metal mouthpiece. Instead of just being a straight tube, it was like 2 bowls screwed together. And then there was a bowl that came off of it and a straight thing. So they would put weed in the middle of that. And then just smoke hash out of those pipes. And that weed would get like hash tar all over it.
Yeah.
And then they'd pull that bud out and smoke it. And so the inside of that never got like super resinous or collected any nasty. It just all filtered through the flour, and then you smoke the flour.
Yeah. That sounds dang.
It was interesting for sure. When you
What
have
flower did Mario smoke? What?
the fire flour. He smoked that fire flour. When he smoked it, he spit fire. He was a rapper, dude. Mario was a rapper. He'd smoke flour and then spit fire. Tell me he wasn't a rapper.
He wasn't a rapper.
But he smoked flour and spit fire. That's what rappers do.
I mean, he could have been a plumber.
No, I think he just did that on the side.
At this point,
That was like his underground hustle till he like became a famous rapper.
I'm just gonna go back to the.
He got high and flew in his Tanuki suit.
Go back to the Peach is actually married to Bowser Theory, man.
Oh shit. Yeah, dude, I've seen a lot of like weird Super Mario theories. There's like a lot of conspiracy around, like not conspiracy, but there's like around the creation of Mario, there's like a lot of different versions of Mario.
Yeah.
And it's like some of the stuff in translation didn't quite make it in the US versions. And there was like when they were first coming out with a lot of it, they had to make a lot of adjustments and stuff. Because like some words that they used in like the USA were like dirty words in other countries.
Oh, dang.
So I call them different stuff. I think Goomba is one of them. I don't know, like European thing.
Oh, right.
I can't remember. There was a couple of them. Very rarely, but it happens occasionally. I'll smoke a shit ton of weed and then get on these weird like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram video scrolls. And I end up with these weird TikTok informative videos that last like 20 seconds. And half of my brain for about 30 seconds is like, oh, that's cool. And then the other half of my brain is like, who the fuck is that person? And why do I think that they're right? I don't know what they're talking about as much as I know what I'm talking about. Like, who the fuck is this person?
That's for sure, though.
And then the next video comes up and I go through the same thing. So it's this really weird, like, oh, that's cool. Fuck you. Oh, that's cool. Fuck you.
Oh, that sounds like a process.
It's fun.
Find some pretty cool, informative stuff on there. Though.
I mean,
like,
that's
there's
what
some
I-
professors.
Dude, that's what I look for, honestly. When I'm on those videos, like I'm looking for like educational shit. Like I thrive for information to a point where like nonsensical bullshit kind of pisses me off unless my brain is completely exhausted. If I've spent like all day studying and reading and typing and writing and doing all this shit, at the end of the day, I just want to like blabber bullshit that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like, talk about how Mario smoked weed and rapped. I don't know, dude. That's
Pretty cool.
Logan's having a really rough day. Poor guy. All right, everybody at home, give Logan a round of applause. He needs a little cheer. He's having a hard day. He just got off work, came into work, spilled all his weed, trying to roll a joint.
It is what it is. Good thing it wasn't the last one.
He's in good spirits. I told you. I told you. He was delivering mattresses to old ladies in Aspen.
Dinosaurs, man.
Were they older than you? Bullshit. 26-year-old millionaires?
I'm 28. But yeah, close.
Oh, you've grown up.
It's about 28 to 32. But yeah.
Horse shit. What are their names?
I'm not going to disclose that. I'm sure.
Hey, Logan said you'd be my sugar mama and just pay me.
Oh my goodness.
He said all I had to do was sign some slip on your mattress and you'd pay me a couple $100,000 a month. That's like,
No.
all right.
Oh goodness.
How was work, man? Other than that, was the road shitty?
Just idiots on the road.
Yeah.
People don't know how to fucking drive.
Heard that.
Almost every semi I passed decided that they wanted to use 2 lanes instead of 1. And I was already next to them. I'm like, hey, fuck it. And just keep on going. Like, there's nothing I can do.
Fuck it ain't my truck.
And every time I do it, Jimmy closes his eyes. And that's how I know I've scared Jimmy, is he just, nope, I'm not going to watch it. Like, all right, Jimmy.
I mean, if you can't control it, you know what I mean? You're not driving. You're in the passenger seat. My life is completely in your hands. You might as well just close my eyes if I don't feel like you have the ability to do the job right.
So I got this weird thing that I like when I'm in a car, I'll just pass out randomly. Like if I'm in a passenger
Oh,
seat.
fuck. I was like, seriously? I'm ridden with you, man.
No, like, if I'm in the passenger seat and I'm not like attentive, I'll just like pass out.
That's scary.
Just like mid sentence sometimes and shit.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah. And
Like
so-
going to the store? Like, how long does it take before that starts setting in? Like, you get in the car, shut the door, your wife drives 200 feet to a stoplight, and you're like,
I don't know.
He doesn't
man.
know. He falls asleep before he can.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, before every time he falls asleep, he hears this. Wah, 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 wah.
But so what her theory is I got so scared of her driving that I just falls asleep.
Like one of those goats. Oh, shit, I'm scared.
But
I don't have a fight or flight reaction. I'm part goat. I just pass out.
Sleep
When
reaction.
I'm scared, I just pass out. Adrenaline? That's funny as shit. I have a huge serotonin spike when I get spooked. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Take Jeff out to help wake. He'll be sleeping on people.
I'm going to test that one of these days. When I know you're in here, I'm just going to pop in and be like, ah, and see if you're sleeping when I come around.
Oh yeah, he's sleeping now.
Oh gosh. Instagram.
Oh. The camera one's dead.
Camera one's dead. Poor guy.
Just switch the battery.
No, it's dead. Like it's dead.
Camera one is dead.
The other battery was charging.
Post
Oh, this
a
one was charging.
funeral.
It doesn't look like it. It looked like it was plugged into the.
The one that was on the table.
We'll try it.
I'm pretty high. Logan just twisted up some of that orange turbo, and he's about to get really high.
Godfather with some hash.
Gash Brothers.
100%.
Godfather with hash in it.
Yeah. Do I know what type of hash? Fuck no. Found it while cleaning my room. It was like, this whole thing was pretty much full. I was like, I ain't gonna say no to that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know if it's something I made or something somebody else made or.
Smells like shit.
Well, God knows how old it is.
Yeah, he says he's smoking Alien OG. Right on, man.
That shit looks like alien poop. I was in there for a long time, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Jesus.
I wanted to bet close to a year.
Look at this.
Is it wax or what is it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be wax.
Like completely the shape of the fucking inner of the.
Nice. Is it like shattery kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, but look at that weird
It's
yellow
like
in there.
taffy. Yeah, I peed in it.
Did you? Is that what that?
Is that what that is?
You did that, buddy?
He's all smelling it.
All by yourself?
It smells like pee for sure. No, I'm wondering though, like I see like some yellow, looks like contaminants in it, and I'm wondering if that's like hard particles of the solvent used that didn't get a chance to escape. Or that's just a lighter, that's just like what the color of this stuff looks like on the inside when you bend it, which is exactly it. It's so old, it's oxidized and turned brown on the outside, and it's yellow wax on the inside. That's fucking gross.
You want a dab? Take a dab?
I don't think so.
Why is that gross?
I'm just talking shit.
That can't be.
My dab rig's inside, otherwise I wouldn't.
Smells like silicone.
Well,
Ooh.
it's probably gonna.
I really can't smell a whole lot, to be honest with you.
Right, it's in my joints.
I'm dying. I'm
Silicone terps.
Which is really weird because I have the OG Ghost Breath smells like fresh rubber, which is really close to silicone terps.
So if you get silicone terps from it just being in there, does that mean there's bleaching?
I mean, it shouldn't. If that's food grade silicone, there shouldn't be any leaching. Just throw it as everything.
Yep.
Shouldn't be any leaching. But I have also heard, like, in Frenchy Cannoli's group from hash makers, that silicone does do something to hash. Don't know what.
To my understanding, it breaks apart just like plastic, so it breaks into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces, so it's easier to become contaminated in your product.
Like, even if you're pressing, like, even if you've got silicone that's like high temperature, heat resistant, you know, whatever, and you're pressing hash in between like silicone versus, you know, a turkey bag plastic, the silicone does something to the hash versus the turkey bag plastic is just better, I guess. It's easier. Yeah. But yeah, I saw somebody doing that, and they actually were like, "Yeah, you don't want your hash on silicone." So like, even the jars that were silicone were glass on the inside. Weird. Hey, you're welcome, Don. Oh, you got that dope shot glass pipe, huh? Have you tried to double it up? I don't know if you're a drinker or not. I know you're a smoker. You ever like fill that thing up yet and then pour a shot in there and then pull a big ass rip and then get famous on TikTok for it?
The thing looks pretty dope. I really want to keep one.
We can both way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike got the other one.
You know what? Like, there was this cat. Where the hell was it? He had one. There's this guy on Facebook that does like all this smoking shit. He did this funny Mario one where he was like dressed up in Mario and he went into like this box and he was like, "Let's go to another dimension." And he gets down in the box and his buddy turns on this vacuum and hits the pipe and it just like fills up the hot box with just hot boxes the box he's laying in. And you hear him laughing. Yeah, wee, it gets all hot box. He pops up and he goes, "What the dimension are we in?" He's like, 4. He's like, "Let's go." Gets back down in there and dude starts pumping more smoke in. He pops up. It was the funniest shit. But this guy does like, he did one where it was like the same kind of shot glass single hit pipe. And then he had like one of those mugs that had a pipe in it.
Yeah.
And he had a bowl of cereal that had a pipe in it. And he like did the shot. Or no, he hit the pipe, did the shot, smoked the bowl, chugged the beer, hit the bowl of cereal, and then took a bite and did the whole. And I don't know, he's just dude has a shit ton of following because that's like what his like whole like Facebook thing is just him
Hitting weird things.
just smoking weird shit. Yeah, smoking like doing like an upside down beer bottle chug. So he'll like
Dabs out of donuts.
yeah. He'll put the bowl at the bottom of the beer and then like chug the beer, light the bowl. The beer fills up with smoke after he's done chugging it, and then he's got to like inhale all the smoke, like weird shit like that. Or he'll put like a 5-gallon bucket on his head and just fill it with smoke and hotbox himself till he can't take it. It's weird because I'll watch him and be like, I remember when I used to do that shit.
Yeah. That's exactly what I remember when I was
He's like
a kid
30.
did shit like
It's like a 60-year-old uncle. It's just funny as shit, dude. It's so dumb, but I'm just like, good for this guy for just like smoking weed in ridiculous ways and getting like a decent following for it. Because I watch that shit, and I usually will not watch those dumb bullshit videos.
Come back with my little makeshift bongs, man.
Holy
What?
wouldn't call that number anybody. You don't want that person's free advice, trust me.
No.
You don't want them to solve your love problems at all.
I wonder what group that's on.
867 309.
Is that your guys' group?
I hope not. If it is, we're gonna have to remove that person.
Seen a couple. Just general.
Can't have none of that. No. No.
Get up early tomorrow. I'll be getting some jars. That way I can chop on Thursday.
What are you shopping?
Purple Praying Lady for sure.
Skunky.
The LHS, and one of the cherry pies. Those three can go.
You gonna see my shoes?
Yeah, whatever.
Hell yeah, dude. Where are you gonna dry them at?
In my little phone pen.
Here you go. I'll take care of.
How's that purple praying lane smelling?
Skunk. You brush her at all. She just stinks. I don't smell the cement shoes. I don't smell any of the others. All I smell is
Fucking gnarly, isn't she?
very.
Dude, she takes over my tent too. That one and the bubblegum I have just like destroy the tent.
I can't wait for turps. I haven't even checked yet because I don't want to.
Wait. Yeah. Just wait.
Thinking about topping them.
Finn. If you're gonna do it, Finn. But I saw YouTube. I can't say shit out. Not enough.
One, leave the other one. See what happens.
Like when I saw that video, that dude topped an auto flower. I was like, that's some bullshit. He was like transplanted and shit.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. He did like a whole bonsai thing. Cloned it, transplanted. I was like, you know what? That guy that guy
just broke every rule I
he broke all the rules and bonsai'd an auto flower.
It's a feng shui, bro. So like, once you figure out that line, bro, you can fucking ghost it.
Well, I think it's
I think it's genetic specific. But like,
he like topped it. Like he cut that, and he didn't show what happened to the bottom part of the plant.
he's not the only person I've heard about that. There's been a lot of people.
But like, this is my thing. Like, what's the point in doing it if you can't preserve the DNA? So you go ahead and do that with your autoflower so like you can keep a cut of it. You know what I mean? So like, how much are you really just fucking yourself? I guarantee you pull more yields if you do it off the main root base that you have instead of cloning your autoflower. You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Like, you can do it, but is it worth it?
I've totally cloned an autoflower, but like you get like a shorter, stumpier versions.
Yeah.
It's like hardly worth it.
Yeah. And then what happens to the bottom half? You know what I mean? Like, you cloned off a bottom branch, right?
Usually, I actually cloned off the top.
Actually, this guy just cut his plant in half and cloned the top part.
Yeah.
But you didn't see what happened to the bottom half of the plant.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that shit's not going to produce much. You're going to put that shit through stress, it's going to go through flower. You're going to get a smaller amount than if you'd left that whole shit together. Even after you flower out the cutting part of it, you leave them together, the plant can produce more. There's less time in between.
Well, I've seen people take cuttings from autoflowers and it not flower. Literally seen it happen, but like it's like I said, you got to know that fine line, man.
Get like a 1-day window.
Yeah. You don't really have much opportunity or time either.
I mean, if you've got all the conditions and your timing right, yeah, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
But again, are you really getting, if you were to take that seed and grow it out full without cutting on it, topping it, doing all that shit? You take one and split it, growing them out, growing both out.
Right.
Are you doubling your yield? No. Guarantee you you're not. Guarantee you you're not.
Not like you would with a photo.
No.
You could do that with a photo,
Yep.
but it would take a little extra.
I mean, with a photo, all you gotta do is clone one plant into 14 plants, root them, put them into soil, and then flower them out in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
For sure.
Steven, make sure you Send Colorado CannaTopia your address information and stuff so we can get this bad boy out to you.
Send you
Set up.
some stickers.
Yeah. Somebody said your hash is probably Goomba. Crystallized P.
Oh.
I don't know. That's what he said before it was Goomba. Crystallized P. That's what Goomba is. Goomba's crystallized P from now on.
Somebody's selling Goomba. No, it's not.
It's just mids.
Jet meds.
Got a little mids. You ever grow with one of these lights, Logan?
No, not one of those. I've grown with LEDs only. I haven't grown with like HPS or anything on my own, but I was into what you have now, and then I upgraded it into the Grow Pro.
Gotcha.
So I start with Mars Hydro.
Gotcha. I started out with CFLs when it was illegal as shit.
Well, I mean, like my stepmom had her medical card, so I was helping her grow with her high pressure sodiums, but it wasn't anything I was running. It wasn't anything I was in charge of. I was just filling up jugs and every now and then watering for her when she couldn't do it.
I don't know, man. Someone please help me feed my kids. They have gone without food from yesterday. PayPal account is no. People. Let the dogs out. Danny did. Danny let the dogs out. Everybody, if you didn't know, we finally have an answer to the question. Somebody called the Baja Boys. Is that the name of them? The Beach Boys? No. What is the name of that band that sang that song?
Which song? Sorry.
Who let the dogs out?
Oh, that's 90s.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. That came out when I was born.
That was
Were you
old school,
born?
bro.
Born in 95. So it came out right around that time.
Got that taken care of, though. I got that just.
Have a
Gone with
good
the
night,
fury
Danny.
of fire. See you, buddy. I'm pretty excited.
Aha, man, I was right.
What's up, Glenn?
Released in 2000.
2000, huh?
Yeah.
I was 5.
Atomic Dog.
Who let the atomic dog
Yeah,
out?
we'll see you
Danny.
tomorrow.
Danny. Who let the atomic dog out?
Well, I
Danny.
think that's a strain name, isn't it?
Might be. Everything's a strain name.
I mean,
I'm going to make a strain called Drywall.
you're not wrong.
I mean, you got cement. Just take cement and find like a wood strain.
Make a strain.
Drywall.
Make a strain called Framer. Make a
Take all
strain
these
called the Electrician.
Take all these components and you'll be able to build a house.
You're going to start seeing, like, you've already see it. Like, there's going to be fucking strains named after people. Gary Payton, LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? They had Kobe Kush, Kobe Bryant cut, Laker cut.
Let's make a Agent Logan cut.
Make a
Oh, I'll have some Wolverine cuts.
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Like Mamba.
No.
Heard of that, I think.
snake.
That's probably where I heard that.
Known as a cottonmouth, which is really fucking weird. Whether you get bit by the snake or the weed, you're getting cottonmouth, motherfucker.
That's a kind of funny joke because if it's the other side, it's not so funny.
Shut up, Logan. You ruined it with your fucking truthful facts. Okay, it's getting awfully hazy in here, yo.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that with your closed door hot box.
Zigzag. No, it's not zigzags either.
I didn't say it.
Oh, I should touch on the black straps. Them black straps are getting huge, guys. They're like this tall. I'll send y'all pictures.
Shut the fuck up, really?
They're like that one. It's like this tall, man.
Off the pot?
Yeah.
Off the top of the pot? It's that
Off the
tall,
top of
right?
the soil, yeah. Yeah, and then there's another one that's over there. It's like, it's a little smaller. It's exciting, man. They're getting big. There's one that's kind of showing maybe a little bit of deficiency. I don't know if it's because of the soil blend, because I use 3 different soil blends, guys, because I'm trying out these different soils, and I kind of want to get a little bit of a feel for it. And using all the same strain is kind of a good way to do that. It's also a different pheno from what Jeff was telling me, so it might be pheno specific.
It could be, but also it could be mixing if you had a hot pocket somewhere, or because you use a pro mix in you.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you had a pocket of pro mix where there wasn't as much nutrient in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's over water.
The one in the middle kind of looks like it's got a little bit of like a vertigation maybe going on.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, it's getting big. I'm pretty excited for this puppy. Yeah. She looks like she's about to take off, honestly.
You might do. You might, honestly, if you fem that one, you'd see it fucking bush out, really. Like that one you could fem.
Yeah.
It's gonna, and it's healthy enough. I think is what you're seeing on that is, what's that middle one in? Like, what's the medium? Is that just the Pro Mix?
That's the mixture.
That's the blend of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's Build a Soil
And the Pro Mix.
and the Pro Mix.
Yeah.
Versus the other one on this end is
Pro Mix.
Pro Mix.
And this one's
Build a Soil. What's is
or
your...
no. This is Build a Soil, this is Pro Mix.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the one in the middle probably got bigger because
It's got a mixture.
the consistency of the Pro Mix is softer, so the roots can get bigger. The one in the Build a Soil probably has a harder root base, chunkier perlite, stuff like that, or pumice. So that's gonna affect how the roots can develop. Versus the one in the middle, the Pro Mix gave it soft soil. The Build a Soil gave it nutrients, so its roots could explode and it had something to feed on. The Pro Mix, its roots can go, but it doesn't have much to feed on. The Build a Soil, it's got plenty to feed on, but it doesn't have much for the roots to grow. But I think that one in the middle, you're just seeing issues because now it's starting to consume more food you don't have available. It needs trace shit. It needs stuff like calcium, magnesium.
I can hit it with some CalMag.
Little, not even necessarily just CalMag, but like it just needs like its trace minerals. I think just like
I threw a bunch of that in the soil blend when I blended it up, though.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
And it may be a lockout. Just depends on what the sodium levels in your soil are. Are you doing any feeding? You're just watering right off, right?
Yeah, well, with the microbes.
You're doing the microbes.
Yeah, and your
And
the hemp.
the extract.
Yeah.
And that one, it may be a watering thing too. I don't know a lot about autos and how they respond. How often you water?
I'm trying to water heavy to build the humidity, but it's not doing so well. It's just
That's it.
Yeah.
You get too much water in there and it can fuck with shit. Because they did look a little wilty. Like, not wilty, but you can tell they get these weird, like, slight misshape in the leaf, and you're like, ooh, those cells are starting to saturate.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like little balloons.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because if you look at the ends, like, okay, so if you overwater a plant enough and you look at the end of the leaves, they get wrinkly. And the wrinkles look just like if you soak your hands in water. It's not as like defined, but you'll notice that it kind of like does this wavy thing, and they kind of look like they're twisting a little bit, and they're like, I don't know, it's weird.
That's interesting.
Overwatering has like a weird, because they'll go straight, and then when they're dry, they just hang flat, right?
Yeah.
But when they're overwatered, they'll like start to twist and curl and like droop. And if you were to put that twisting and curling on the whole leaf together, it would look kind of like your finger does when it's just been soaking in water, like overly saturated.
Sure.
Hell yeah. Well, we better get out of here. It's that time.
Yep.
Much love, CannaFam. Aaron, thanks, man.
Looking forward to see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
See you same time, same place.
We are out.
Take it easy. We can all agree weed should taste good. Let the world know what's on your mind with all the Weed Should Taste Good apparel from weedshouldtastegood.com. With hats, shirts, hoodies, and all sorts of awesome gear to fit your style, Weed Should Taste Good also has a list of seeds you can grow your own great tasting weed.